Amazon, look at all this space.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Until you see her, you'll agree. Zoom, 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 zoom. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wait until you see her. A, B, C, D, me. My hometown girl. I got a girl. A, B, C, D.
Recently, the governor of New Hampshire has been a little aggressive in its marketing towards having Amazon come to New Hampshire and set up shop. There are several reasons why Amazon should be in New Hampshire, but we also shouldn't neglect Massachusetts as a helpful partner. There are also several reasons why we also need Massachusetts in this venture. I'll explain to you why. First, we'll grab a couple of statistics from the major cities in New Hampshire, how Amazon can benefit from moving here, and how this can also affect us being able to build a railroad system from Concord all the way down to Boston. The fact that it hasn't even been done yet shocks me. The most that our state capital has to offer is foliage, okay? Foliage is not going to provide transportation. Foliage is not going to provide jobs to people. Foliage is not going to offer anything other than New Yorkers coming up in here and looking at all the pretty colors, okay? We need more than that. We need a large corporation like Amazon to come in here and help provide some additional employment to the people of New Hampshire. I think this is super important. I think this would truly be a breakthrough for our state. I think it would truly be finally the nail in the coffin that would get us to get a railroad system down to Massachusetts, down to the seacoast, and possibly one to New York City as well. Instead of this entire state being relying upon a bus. Really? A bus? Concord Trailways is our means of transportation to larger cities? This is ridiculous. We can do so much better than this. How stubborn are we? Welcome to Manchester, where the women are 6s, the men are 4s, and the food is overrated. This city is primed to explode. It has its own railway system, it has a huge riverfront, it has its own airport, and it has a bus system. All we need to do with the railway is turn it into a commercial use that gets you from Concord to Manchester to Nashua to Boston, also to the seacoast as well if we can utilize some type of railway system there, because the only public transportation that we have that goes to Boston is by bus, which is silly. Also the fact that we have this riverfront system that if we treated like San Antonio, there would be so much more on the actual river. There would actually be like restaurants and retail, and we could really treat it like maybe if you haven't never been to San Antonio in the Riverwalk, you can compare it more towards, say, Providence. They host fire events down there. They have tons of restaurants and bars and other things that overlook or sit right next to the river. And we just don't do anything with it. Also, when it comes to finding jobs, healthcare and health insurance pretty much have a chokehold on the region. So bringing in a company like Amazon that would be probably over in Derry or Londonderry or a surrounding town would really push the competition for these other companies that are already here to do a better job, to be more competitive, to pay better wages, to offer different things. Competition is super healthy, and I think if Amazon, this giant, just all of a sudden decided to set up shop with a few deals in their pocket, I really think this would change the entire region. Amazon landing here would be a chain reaction for all the other industries that we have within the region. And I am totally all about competition, okay? Now this town is just a glorified version of Concord. This town lives and breathes specifically because of the retail market. If it was a retail tax on products here in New Hampshire, nobody from Massachusetts would be coming up to purchase stuff, okay? Why jump across the state border to come to pay for something that's exactly the same price? In this regard, we are definitely a competition to Massachusetts. But the fact is that this is just a glorified version of our state capital. So if we actually had a railway system, like I said earlier, from Concord to Manchester to Nashua, we would have much more access to the city of Boston. We'd have much more access to Massachusetts and other parts of our state in general. So why haven't we done this? Nashua, in my opinion, is just a giant mess. It's a horrible traffic pattern. It has like 3 different spots. It's so spread out, and there's not as many people here as actually in our largest city, which is about a couple 100,000. So why haven't we done this? Why haven't we added on the railway system? And with the addition of Amazon, other large companies would want to come here as well. Maybe it's because they want to save money. Maybe it's because we have a lot of property that they could purchase. The trade-off for winning Amazon over to come here would really be the trade-off that, okay, fine, if we get Amazon, then we can give a railway system over to Massachusetts and be like, hey Massachusetts, I know we were in competition with you to take Amazon, but the fact is now we have workers with a railway system in place. We can send our workers to your state, and however that benefits you, great. But the fact is we need to do both. Without Amazon and without a railway system, we're not going to grow as a state combined. Okay, I think it's super important that we do both these things. I don't know if it's due to laziness, I don't know if it's due to lobbying, I don't know why this hasn't happened before, but I think if we actually put in a railway system, multiple even, instead of just depending upon buses to get to Massachusetts at 6 o'clock in the morning, I think there's more that we could actually accomplish here in this state. Overall, I am a big fan of Amazon in general, and it would be great for all the opportunities that they could bring to this state as much as the opportunities we could bring to Amazon. So, and it's the ones I can't even think of, but I think if we have the ability to get them here and they truly want to come here, then let's make some deals with Massachusetts. There's a lot that we can offer them, even though we are essentially in a bidding war with them to take Amazon. But they have plenty of companies. They're going to be perfectly fine, but we can make them better by offering some of our services to them. Massachusetts, whether you like it or not, is super important to the state of New Hampshire. And I think that it would be awesome if we had a railway system. Like, we should have done that a decade ago. And maybe Amazon is that chip that moves us in the right direction, or maybe it's one of the chips that moves us in the right direction. But if we get that railway and we get Amazon here and we get more people to move here as far as companies that are like Amazon, I want them here, I want them set up shop nearby. Obviously they wouldn't be in one of the large major cities, but they would be like in a surrounding town like Londonderry or Merrimack or Hooksett or something like that. But plant them here, get some jobs, create some competition, and let's make this state really better, and the surrounding ones as well. At the end of the day, I want to create, and I think Amazon has the ability to do that 50 times million over than what I could possibly do. But hey, you know, I'm rambled enough. Amazon, we want you here. Get moving. Governor Sununu? Chris, come on, we need your help.
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. My head really hurts. If I don't find a way out.